Hello, everybody. Wait no longer. Greatness is here. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I am your host this evening, Joseph. Alongside me, you're not Kyle. Who are you?
Oh, I already miss Kyle. Hi, I'm Red Bearded Fox, otherwise known as Daniel Fox.
Oh, well, hello, sir. Nice to meet you. So
Nice
with
to
that,
meet you.
it's like the first time we're meeting. So you're on the Glorious Movie Cast. That's where I know you, and you guys
Yes.
do some amazing podcasting when it comes to
Thank
movies
you.
and
Thank
entertainment.
you.
So
Thank you.
I'll be honest with you, Foxes. I've been wanting it for a long time, and I finally have you.
We get to have each other. That's what I'm talking about.
Forever.
Let's do this.
So yeah, I'm so excited. And before we talk about the games we've been playing, the news of the week, I just want to give everybody a rundown on the God of War giveaway that we're going to be having. We are having. And so with that said, if you want to be a part of the God of War 4 giveaway, all you have to do is this. Go on iTunes, rate us 5 stars, comment on why you love the Trophy Room and PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, and then send a picture to me, Mr. Badbit, on Twitter. Because the one thing Sean Capri, may he rest his soul, he told me, he's not dead. Why did I say that? He told me, I was talking to him about the giveaway. He's like, just so you know, iTunes is different in every country. I was like, oh no, I totally forgot. So it's very important. Don't just rate us 5 stars and give a comment. Make sure you send a picture out to me. And I gotta say, right before we started, I got an amazing picture.
Yeah.
Someone rated us 5 stars. His name is James. And James over in the UK wrote us this amazing review. He says, a great podcast made by ordinary people, nice dudes talking all things PlayStation, a great listen to, well-versed opinions, I don't know about that, seemingly effortless, I try, professional manner. Now we know, James, now you're lying. But nonetheless, he goes on to saying, catching up on news I've missed while traveling around for work. Also a great laugh on my favorite subject. If you're into PlayStation, listen and subscribe. Thank you guys for the continued great work. No, James, thank you. And also charge your phone because you are on 11% battery. So thank you, James, so much. Follow in James's footsteps. Get a chance to win God of War 4. We'll announce it April 10th. So with that said, whew, all that stuff out of the way. Foxes, what have you been playing? Now I know you're not just a PlayStation guy, so you can taint us with whatever you're playing.
I can taint you. I'm
Yeah.
down for that. So yeah, I play a lot of different games. I play PC games, PlayStation games, Xbox games. The only games I have not been playing for actually years now is actually Nintendo games,
Okay,
which
good.
saddens me a little bit because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I had a Switch for Zelda. But to be honest with you, other than that, like
Just
I don't
play
see too much there.
Horizon.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I
Actually,
kid.
to be honest with you, I feel really shamed, or I'm shaming myself right now that I'm on a PlayStation podcast and I haven't played one of the best PlayStation games out there yet.
And what is
And
that to you? Is that
and
Horizon?
yeah, Horizon. I have not played Horizon Zero Dawn yet. I played Bloodborne, and that's
Okay,
by
good.
far it is either my very favorite PlayStation 4 game or at least in the top five.
And
But
you're
yeah, I
totally
really
right.
need to play Horizon.
To me, Bloodborne's the game of the generation.
Wow, fair enough.
I mean, and I know I get it. Like everybody has their own personal things. Like everybody loves The Witcher, which The Witcher I
Hmm.
love too. Great game. A lot of
Hmm.
people love Breath of the Wild, but Bloodborne got me into a genre of games that I never thought I would.
Yeah,
So
that's actually fair to say because same kind of sort of thing happened to me. I tried Dark Souls a while back,
yep,
and I just got so frustrated with it that I was like, I can't understand this kind of game. Like I can't get into it.
yeah,
Played Bloodborne, and I realized, oh, I kind of get it now. And
yeah.
now I've actually gone back and I've played through Dark Souls 1 now. Now I'm actually going through my second run through. I'm doing something a little bit harder,
Mm.
and that's going through a no bonfire run.
Oh
That
wow.
shit is hard as
Yeah.
nails.
Yeah, no, that is really difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like, because spoiler alert, me and Kyle, we recorded this episode 2 days ago, and it just, I I didn't like it. It was me
Hmm.
that was messing up. Kyle was sick, so I was like, again, we got to give Kyle some rest, right? So wish
Hmm.
him better on Twitter. Who that Ninja 73, and so we were talking about Bloodborne. I think, to me, I need to make a video or something talking about the first level in Bloodborne, because
Mm.
the first level of Bloodborne is by far the best first level I have ever played in a video game.
It is an
Like,
amazing, good first like entry beginner level. I
because
completely agree with you.
it shows it, like it's a perfect tutorial in a sense where it shows you what the game is about slowly but surely.
Hmm.
And like, like the first guy you encounter once you get the ladder, like it teaches you like there's areas that you can unlock, or that
Hmm.
you can find different paths, and intersecting paths that you find. And the one guy that's hiding behind the boxes shows you that, hey, they could be anywhere, so always be on your guard, right? Like, they teach
Yep.
you how to pull individuals from mobs in a
From
really
mob.
great
Yep.
way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Because taking on that whole mob mentality, or well, not mob mentality, but like that mob like first fight. Like I remember it was like, nah, I got this. I'm a badass. And then you realize like, oh
no.
no, I'm not against four plus people. I suck.
Yeah, and so with that, I was just like, even the first like big bonfire that they have is like such a great way of like saying, look, there's 12 guys here. You can't kill them all by yourself unless you're really
Hmm.
good. And like, you can't do that. You got to be smart. So like,
Hmm.
you got to funnel them in, and there's like great strategies you could use in the first level that like teach you what Bloodborne's all about. That's why like I really love that Bloodborne right now is the PlayStation free game of the month, because
That's
there's
awesome.
so many people going to be getting into this series that
Hmm.
otherwise would have forgot about it. And I believe also, my friend let me know this, I believe a week ago, that currently, I don't know if it's currently as of this podcast, but the DLC, the Old
Hmm.
Hunters, $5, and I
Oh,
immediately
really?
bought it. Yeah, so I'm just like,
Believe
yes,
it or not, I actually haven't played that yet. So I'm
me
glad that
neither.
you told me that was. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go pick it up probably actually after we're done with this.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. So with that said, we love Bloodborne. I'm
Hmm.
so glad. Um, what other games have you been playing before we
Uh,
get into it?
so I had a little bit of Bloodborne, just tiny
Mm,
bit, just refresh their old memory, kind of sort of bit.
yeah,
Sea of Thieves with you actually, which I had a
yeah,
blast yesterday. I thought that was a great time.
yeah.
Um,
It's really awesome that like Xbox finally has a game that's worth a damn. Isn't that
I,
something?
that's fair to say. That's fair to say actually.
Yeah, yeah. It's
um,
really great. My question with you, because I don't want to
mhm,
get too much into the game itself, because this
mhm.
is a PlayStation podcast. Because is and because you're on now, this is a great question. Get your input on it. Is Game Pass? A lot of people trying Sea of Thieves out for the first time. If you own an Xbox and you made that mistake, uh, only kidding. Um, Game Pass, is it as big of a deal as the media is making it out to be, or is it all right? Is it like a little bit overhyped? I guess is the question. Like, is Xbox? You know what? Rephrasing it. Are they really changing the game when it comes to Game Pass? Look at that.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's so much as changing the game, like the
Mm-hmm.
actual games that they incorporate with their whole system. You know, like the Game Pass, which is basically a service,
Yeah.
just like that of PS View and
PS
PS
Now. Yeah.
Now. Yeah, 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 that's right. Um, it I do think it is a little bit overhyped. Like I
Okay.
think, by the way, we're just stating a that we have a service outside of like the Ubisoft Club and the Origin access, so on and so forth. All those things are fine and dandy, but I do feel like there was a lot of show just to say, by the way, we have a service too.
Mm.
Which, to be honest with you, I think is a good thing that they have a service, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know. Granted, I've been playing Sea of Thieves for a little while. Like I've played quite a bit of the beta. Um, I don't know if I would have actually played Sea of Thieves and actually bought it
Yeah.
if I didn't have the Game Pass. I'm going to be honest with you, because I do have to admit the Game Pass as itself as a service is a pretty good deal. You
Yeah.
get some pretty good games on there, and then you also get you just get Sea of Thieves right out, like like on its release, which is, to be honest with you, I think one of its biggest benefactors.
I think it is the biggest thing
Fair enough.
about Sea of Thieves right now. Is that like, yeah, like the one thing I think about Game Pass is that I think a lot of people nail on the head is it's low risk, high reward. If you don't like it, you only spent $9. You know, again,
Exactly.
money's different. Like, $10 to you
Hmm.
might be different to me. So like, it's a lower risk than spending $60. As you're right. Like, I don't know if this game's really. I mean, it's beautiful. I don't know if
Hmm.
it's worth $60, but it is worth a try on Game Pass.
Agreed.
And I'm seeing a
Agreed.
lot of people try it out just for the morbid curiosity.
Hmm.
And so to me, I'm like, it is a big deal. I think they need it is Sea of Thieves is the first of many games laying down the foundation to
Hmm.
why you're gonna want Game Pass in the future.
Hmm.
Like in terms of like, yeah, after State of Decay, a Halo, a Gears of War game, I think it's very beneficial to Microsoft because as long as you get 5% of those people who signed up and you retain them, that's
Hmm.
that's concurrent income over time. So
Agreed.
like that is steady income that you're making, and I think that's great. I think like if people don't like Sea of Thieves and they go, well, let me see what other overhyped Microsoft product I'm gonna get. That I think like or at least give a chance, and they get hooked to that game, or they get hooked to the third game they try, is
Hmm.
awesome. So my next question for you, Fox, is this.
Okay.
Again, because we talked about it last week, but I want your input on this. Is PlayStation Now? Do you think they need to mimic, copy all great artists do, steal Game Pass's design, or do you think that because Sony properties at this moment are selling so well, PlayStation it's in their detriment not to do it because
Yeah.
games like Horizon selling almost 8 million copies in its first year.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. To be completely honest with you, uh, I don't own PS Now,
Hmm.
but I have seen their library and, like, their rotation of games and so on and so forth that they have going for them.
It's not bad.
It, yeah, no, I really don't think it's that bad. And to be honest with you, I don't know if they actually do need to mimic. Like,
Mm.
having a release game come out, like, by the way, it's on PS Now. I don't. It could bring in some numbers as far as like newer people to be like, yeah, let me try PS now because like I'm gonna get a game for, not this, not a full price,
Yeah.
retail purchase. Um, would help it. It would benefit it. But at the same time, I've never thought PS Now was actually a bad service. Like,
Hmm.
I've always thought they've had pretty good games. I've heard that their actual service, as far as like streaming it, like actually playing it from them, is somewhat good and reliable. And to be honest with you, it's still $9.99 a month.
$9.99 for beginners, and then it jumps up to $20. So that's where it really
Mm,
skews, right? So to me, I'm like, maybe you should take the Xbox model, cough cough. When it comes to lowering the price, because $20 is
yeah,
asking a lot.
it is actually. To be honest, given with that in mind, if there is anything that they should actually take from them, it should be maybe a different pricing model.
Yeah.
I realize that you're getting quite a few games, but with I have Origin Access. That's 9.99 a month. I have Game Pass Now, which is 9.99 a month. I have
Things
a few of
stack.
them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they stack after a while, and then when you throw in not necessarily a heavy hitter like $20 of a service right then and there, it is
Hmm.
still like, all right, I'm already paying $20 for two different services, and this is $20 extra for only one more service.
Right.
Whereas, really, I could try to find two more for. I mean, granted, you're splitting dollars, exactly what it is, but at the same time, your wallet does count.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Um,
Something
I-
has to give.
yeah,
You
I will
know.
say though that I don't know if they need to follow the same kind of system like Game Pass as far as putting a brand new game on there, only because, like you said, uh, Horizon Zero Dawn, Bloodborne, and I'm pretty sure even
Until
why am
dawn.
I? Thank you. Until Dawn.
Yeah.
That's
There you go.
exactly the one that I was thinking of. Did all really, really good sales. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, for I guess stand on a business standpoint, why ruin that for yourself?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that there is this. there is demand for it, and I think that it'll grow over time. But as of right now, is it in
Hmm.
Sony's benefit? And I think I think it's not. I don't think it is
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
until the overwhelming demand says bring it. And I think they will. But to be honest, if your games are selling so well, it is a different story. And when they do succumb to the pressure and they go, okay, here's all the games, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be real cool. So
True.
with that said, I'm gonna move past all this Xbox talk. Whatever. What are we, an Xbox podcast? Ugh, that's gross. I'm so sorry. I want to get to our first bit of news. And this
Okay.
actually happened yesterday, and I want to give a big congratulations to Ubisoft for fending off the Vivendi takeover. Now, this has been in the making for, I believe, about 3 years now. And if you guys
Yeah.
don't know, Vivendi is this huge conglomerate, and they're French based. And what they do is they buy smaller companies. They pretty much make them bigger. You see with Activision Blizzard actually being a huge example. Vivendi owned Blizzard back in the 90s, mid 2000s. They later acquired Activision, and then they merged the two companies to make Activision Blizzard what we have today. And then they get to a certain point where the CEO of Activision bought the majority shares from Vivendi, and now Vivendi looked like it wanted to acquire Ubisoft. And what was happening over 3 years was, over months' time, they were buying more stock and more stock into Ubisoft. And you might go, Joe, what's the problem here? Well, what happens when a huge conglomerate takes over a company is usually mergers, and usually people losing their jobs and losing that creative freedom that they've once had. So when Ubisoft and the what was it? Let me get his name right here. I always forget his name. Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, he was gonna get ousted from his job, and Guillemot is the founder, one of the founders and creators of Ubisoft. So there was this constant power battle between Vivendi and Ubisoft, and I think what it showed was, under pressure, Ubisoft did amazing things because Guillemot wanted his job. We saw Ubisoft over the past 3 years correct their ship. Right?
Hmm.
They like
They've grown a lot.
they've grown a lot, and they've made some tremendous games from just milking, Assassin's Creed and trying
Hmm.
to, or deceiving us with Watch Dogs. They were
Hmm.
able to turn the ship around, and really last year I think was their peak for them. It seemed like game after game it spoke to gamers. Right, like we got things like The Division, we got things like For Honor, we got things like Tom Clancy, Mario plus King. Ooh, that's a loud honk. Sorry. As of this podcast, I also need to let you guys know, if you're in your car, audio listeners, you hear beeps. We're recording in a nor'easter right now. There's a huge storm. All these things are happening. Now, with that said, we saw all these games being pushed out by Ubisoft, and they were actually really good.
Hmm.
So under the pressure, I think Yves Guillemot really killed it in terms of the direction for this company. It showed that, listen, we don't need some conglomerate coming in here and telling us what makes us Ubisoft. And so, with that said, yesterday, Vivendi sold off its 27.7 shares of Ubisoft for what would account to over $2.2 billion. And they bought $700 million worth of stock, a whole lot of money. So
Hmm.
they got their return. Vivendi claimed their victories by saying to their stockholders, "Hey, we made a lot of money.
Hmm.
We more than doubled our stake, our claim in Ubisoft. We're making a whole bunch of cash. And hey, you know what? Because we pushed Ubisoft, they were able to make some great games. And Ubisoft coming out and saying, hey, this hostile takeover, it's over.
Jumping.
We've won, and it's all because of you, the gamers. So,
Yep.
with that in mind, Foxes, as I go to close this window, what are your thoughts on all of this?
That's awesome. I'm gonna be completely honest
Yeah.
with you. For them to overcome that, yeah, I remember uh, a good, yeah, like you said, 3 years ago, when this was talking about, I was like, I wonder if this will be somewhat of a short kind of hostile takeover, or at least grab for power, or this actually will be a pain in the ass for them for quite some time. Well, I'm unknown to us. It was 3 years,
Hmm.
um, but I'm glad that it's over for them because yes, I completely agree with you. I've been very impressed with Ubisoft in the past 3 years. I'm going to be honest with you. Siege has been well. I don't know if Siege is
I
3 years
even
old. I
for,
think it's only 2.
I've even forgot to mention Siege. It's killing it.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I've been a huge Siege fan ever since it dropped in, to be honest with you, because of so much rockiness of an experience I've had with them in the past years. I was just like, do I really dare?
Yeah.
Do I really want to take the plunge back into Ubisoft again? Because for quite some time, I wasn't on EA's side, but I was sucked into EA for so much, given with Mass Effect and
Right.
so on and so forth and all that.
Dragon
Um,
Age.
yeah, Dragon exactly. Inquisition really sucked me, had me by its claws for a good long while. Um, so yeah, I was a little bit timid, but I'm so glad I did because I've been buying their products left and right. Granted, I do see a lot of the critical critical reviews of Wildlands. I enjoy it from time to time. It
Hmm.
just is a
Guilty
downer
pleasure.
game. Yeah, just it's just like, oh hey, let me just go chill, listen to some music, and like I'll just take some dudes out in an outpost kind
Right.
of sort of bit.
Right.
It's fun for me at times. Although I do have to give a lot of credit to their PvP side because it's really good. Anyways,
Oh, really? I
yeah, I
left
actually
before the
really enjoy
PvP
it.
came out.
Yeah, I actually kind of if I'm gonna be honest with you, I think if it would have released when the game released, it would have helped it
Yeah.
so much. I
Okay.
think people would have actually probably stuck around a little bit more and kept their purchase because I know that they had a lot of returns for it. Anyways, um, I, I'm Ubisoft. Round of applause to you. Good job.
Yeah.
Like
Good
seriously,
job, guys.
good job. Like I mean, like you held this off for such a long time, and it didn't come out bitter in its own way. People were just like, nah, we're just gonna split.
Yeah. It was.
Like, all right, cool.
It was
You
such a.
know?
It was such a cool thing to see because, again, like when huge corporations get in there, they really don't care about the creative process, right? Like a great
Hmm.
example, Martini, I am so sorry, our fellow patron, so sorry to say this, but like when Warner Brothers pushes out DC film after DC film, and like like reports just in, we're getting into movies here, like Justice League is their lowest returning uh, movie, DC movie. And I think it
Yeah.
just goes to show that, like, guys, you can't just make something, because someone else is doing it. It has to feel organic. It has to feel needed.
Yeah.
And I think when huge companies like that come into it, they don't give a shit. So
Hmm.
Ubisoft did have this message, and I think a lot of gamers, including myself, bought it for the meantime of we're doing this for you. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
we're a company, but we also have this artistic vision that we want to show to you guys. And
Hmm.
I think for the most part, they nailed it last year. I mean, next week we'll be buying Far Cry 5 and giving that a go, and
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
very
may even buy that
excited.
twice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for it. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, like it's better
Have you
than
tried that?
Odyssey. Yeah, oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It seems like it's a lot of fun.
It
Not gonna
is.
lie.
It is a ton of fun, and I want to see Ubisoft do more of those creative ventures. So,
Hmm.
with that said, I'm so happy. Congratulations, Ubisoft. Seriously, awesome job. With that, we're gonna move on to some Square Enix news, and with that, they announced not Rise of the Tomb Raider. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Jesus Christ. It will be coming out officially September 14th, 2018. Now, I would talk about all the PR blunders that came with this. Just know it was a bit of a mess a few days ago with Square Enix. They had this announcement of they had an announcement for an announcement going tomorrow we're
Yeah.
going to release the release date, and oddly enough it was in the HTML code, so people found out within 5 minutes of that announcement of an announcement. But with that, we saw last week Call of Duty Black Ops is coming out October 12th. That's just straight out of my memory. We're seeing all these games being pushed forward in the holiday season. I want to know what your reaction is to Tomb Raider. Are you excited for the game? Are you a fan of the series? And do you think it coming out in September rather than Rise of the Tomb Raider coming out in November is an indication that Red Dead's power is still very much potent and people are very much afraid of it?
Agreed. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, uh, whether it be social media, whether it just be word of mouth, Red Dead is on people's minds.
Yeah.
They want it. They're ready. They were like, granted, there are quite a few fans out there who didn't really care for the first one. There's even people who were like, nah, I'm gonna return it, or I'm gonna return to it to see
Yeah.
if this one's even that much better because it's caught people's eye and it has power and it has attention and Rockstar knows how to do that. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Rockstar knows how to fucking get people hyped.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh
really
yes.
do. They're
Yes.
masters of it. Like Rockstar, the name is synonymous with quality. I mean, you might not be like, I'm not a fan of GTA 5. I'll be honest with you, not
Agreed.
a fan of it. I think they peaked with Red Dead. Red Dead's one of my favorite, tied with The Last of Us as my favorite game of all time.
Fair enough.
But even if you're not a fan of it, again, you can see Rockstar means quality. I can't think of a game that I played from them going, this is shit. Like I can't. They
True.
just make great games. So like to me, I think you're dead on right. A lot of people go, nah, it's not. It's not because of that, but I definitely do think it's because of Red Dead's power. So my question to you, I'm sorry I cut you off, is
No, you're fine.
are you interested in this game? Are you going to be picking
Yes.
it up day one?
So I am interested. I probably won't be picking up day one only because I'm going to shamefully say this. I have not played Rise of the Tomb Raider.
That's fine.
I played the first one and I had a blast playing that
Yeah.
playing that game. I think it was really awesome. To be honest with you, in some ways I found it actually a lot more fun than Uncharted, but only because it had kind of different, somewhat in its own way different mechanics that
Okay.
Uncharted didn't offer. But at the same time, Uncharted offers its own experience that is non-comparable to almost
Anything else.
anything else. Yeah,
Of-
agreed.
of that genre,
Yeah,
From,
exactly.
from a clone to Tomb Raider to being its own thing, the
Exactly.
evolution is leaps and bounds. Yeah.
Yes, agreed. But I've actually it's been in my backlog for quite some time to play Rise of the Tomb Raider. And to be honest with you, every time I say it, I'm like, I need to play this fucking game because, I obviously really love the first one. And then two, I've also like being on the movie podcast with Tomb Raider movie being out and so on and so forth.
Did you watch that movie, by the way?
Not yet, unfortunately.
Okay.
Moody has watched it and has his review up on it on our podcast channel on YouTube. I think yes, and he has it posted on our other SoundCloud, iTunes, so on and so forth.
Okay. Link down below for that, by the way, for the glorious movie cast. For people.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So, given with that said, I am excited about this because I liked what I saw. I mean, granted, it's not gameplay. Well, I think it's okay. I think it's not gameplay, but in a sense, I do think it's maybe a cutscene from the game, which I'm completely fine with. Just because the past Tomb Raider cutscenes I've actually enjoyed. Like they make me feel the old Tomb Raider while also being the very cinematic new Tomb Raider. And I like, to be honest with you, I really do. I really like what they've had going for them so far. And to be honest, yeah, I'm excited for what they have coming up because from what I understand is that from the first one to the second one, they made their changes, but only for their betterment, to actually for people to being like, if you like this one, you'll really like, or if you like the first one, then you'll really like this one only because it's Tomb Raider, it's more Tomb Raider, but it's also in its own way even better. So I'd actually like to see the leaps and bounds that they've made even better than for this one. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right. Awesome.
How do you feel about it?
I'm ready for this game. I think just like you, I think because that Xbox exclusive deal really did a number on it in terms of when it came out, there were so many games around it, right? Like when that game came out, you had, I believe, Battlefront, Fallout 4, and Call of Duty. And though, yeah, it's not in the same genre, I think some companies have to get rid of that thing of, well, it's not the same genre, but when it's like these tentpole things like Star Wars, Call of
Hmm.
Duty, Fallout, these
Hmm.
huge, just like, I think those games talk to multiple audiences. So I think because of that exclusive deal and because when it came out, not a lot of people got to really check it out. Like, Kyle, his last words before he succumbed to his illness. I'm only kidding. I can't wait to have you back, Kyle. He's just like, I didn't play it because like when it came out on PlayStation 4, it was like this collection deal and there were so many other games. So like it didn't feel like it launched properly.
Hmm.
And to me, I have to feel the same exact way when it comes to, you know, I want to play this game. I don't know if I'm
Hmm.
going to be able to or pick it up because of the
Hmm.
simple fact of I haven't played the first one. I haven't played this, or I played a little bit of the second one, but I want to, those are games that are in my, my backlog of shame. So I want to
Hmm.
know what you think of Rise of the Tomb Raider when it launched. Do you think that exclusive deal with Microsoft kind of screwed them over?
I think I heard it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you. Yeah, it also, okay, in a way, I also heard it in that aspect as well. But I also do think it hurt itself by doing that because when it launched, I said, well, I played the first one on PS4,
Mm.
or at least the reboot. I'd like to play this one on PS, or I'd like to play Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS4 as well. Granted, I mean, by the time I owned an Xbox, it was, or Xbox One, I should say, it was already released. So it was like you said, it just got crowded, or
Mm.
it got thrown into that crowd of video games that just I never got around to. Um, and at the same time, yeah, I do think that uh, a lot of people who were quite fans of Tomb Raider
Hmm.
are also somewhat maybe even fans of Uncharted. That may be an assumption, but I just because
I
I
think,
would say
yeah, I
that
think those could
they
have
have a
some
lot of
crossover to it.
similarities.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I do think it hurt it by releasing exclusively on Xbox first because from what I understand, it just didn't sell well,
Mm.
even given with Xbox. Now I could be wrong there, but just from
No,
what
it
I've heard
didn't.
from
Yeah,
word of mouth. Yeah,
and it
yeah,
sucks because from what I hear, it's a great game. With that
yeah.
said, I'm sorry. You're gonna have a blank when I say this. Longing, rusted, furnace, daybreak, 17, Benning, 9, homecoming, 1, freight
Oh,
car.
oh, okay.
We have activated Shuhei Yoshida, the Winter Soldier. With our segment, If I Was Shu, we know that Tomb Raider, the movie, has come out. Mixed reviews, but whatever. It's a video game movie. But I'm Shuhei Yoshida. We know that Shu secretly runs the whole thing at not just Sony, but he is probably the Illuminati. So with that said, I'm Shuhei Yoshida. What game out of the PlayStation library is going to make for the best video game movie adaptation? And when I say that, we're gonna put an asterisk. We're not allowed to use Uncharted or The Last of Us because those are easy. So with that said, what movie out of the PlayStation, or sorry, what game would you want to see turned into a movie that is a PlayStation brand? It can't even be done, but we're Shuhei. Anything's possible. This is a long one. This is a hard one.
This is a very long, hard.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
no
what I was
problem.
hoping.
Anytime.
uh, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even
Mhm.
though a lot of the, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but a few things from the franchise, and I realize I'm being cryptic here. A few things from the franchise was kind of, I guess, adapted in its own way from a movie that actually came forth. I'm talking about Metal Gear, coming from the having I would say a lot of similarities when you think about it, from Escape from New York.
Okay.
How one, the main character being Snake Plissken. Two, he actually has a virus that is inserted inside of him that is given an actual deadline.
Mm.
Uh, and three, he's actually quite a lot of more the sneakier person. But when action is need to go down, it happens.
Okay.
Um, That being said, I realize that we're all pretty burned right now, given with how fuck Konami. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
you
honest
could
with
curse whatever. Yeah, fuck Konami.
you. Fuck Konami.
Yeah.
I'd understand how that, given they'd have to use a lot of probably their assets and their name and so on and so forth from Konami. I really actually wouldn't mind seeing a Metal Gear game.
Okay.
I'd really fucking love it, just because one, I've been a fan since Metal Gear Solid, like literally from PlayStation 1 days. I absolutely love that fucking game.
Well, I have some news for you. Shuhei's already on the case, because as of what I'm aware of, there is a director attached to Metal Gear. Sony does own it. I believe the director that did the latest King Kong movie, is it Kong Skull Island? He's actually
Yes, I think so.
in the process, but very early on, so that project could be dead. Is all what we know.
True. True.
So, and when he said it, he's like, "I want to be true to the series. I want to be weird like Kojima." So I'm just like, "Oh boy, oh boy."
I know, I'm pretty sure major or like general audiences would be like, what the fuck is going on? But I'd be there in my seat going, I'm geeking out right now.
How fucking Metal Gear's on screen. To me though, I actually, and this just popped in my little noggin. You know, it would be a perfect game, like video game movie that Sony definitely owns the rights to. We talked about earlier, Until Dawn.
You know what? Yes, that is a solid choice right there, my friend.
Because I think like you could take whatever happens in the game. I didn't play much of it, but instead of like doing the choose your own adventure type path, just have the killer, have all these cast of characters, and the bonus of this shoe, and I know you're listening out there, is that you can make this with a relatively low budget, because a lot of horror movies do. They have a low budget, but they have a high return. You can hire a lot of either no-name actors or actresses, or, you know, some relatively up-and-comers. And you can have this character that I think horror fans could get into. Like, you can have your version of Leatherface, if that makes any sense. So, with that said, I think that would be the best way to go.
I think that's a fair choice.
Economic right here. It's economic.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You get fans of the series in there, or people who have played along with it. Shu, I'm just saying, I am available if you need me at any personal assistant, a guru of sorts. I'm here for you. You know?
He has my vote.
So with that, I put in a if I was Shu moment in here. I gotta talk about PUBG, and I want to talk about Fortnite for just a second, as I do always, because if you don't know, the title of this podcast is the Trophy Room and PlayStation Podcast, hyphenated, whatever the case may be. Bad at grammar. Also a Fortnite podcast. I bring up Fortnite a lot because I love it, but also millions of people seem to absolutely adore this game. So much so that rapper Drake, and he got some of his athlete friends and rapper friends to come in on a stream with Ninja, who is right now the top streamer on Twitch, and they broke the Twitch record of having 600,000 concurrent watchers, which is nuts, right?
They went insane.
Dude, like at this point, this is Walking Dead views, because I don't think anybody watches that show anymore. So in terms of like Twitch, that's huge. That's a huge step of to me making video games like, yeah, we all play them. Let's get over it, right? Like so for so long, we've been shunned if we like video games or we enjoy them or whatever have you. And with that said, we then had this iOS event that everybody just lost their minds over, and it's actually a pretty good port. I got a video on it, Bad Bit Games, check it out. And then we have PUBG, and they're like, "Hey, we're here too." But
by the way, we released ours.
We were
just a day after or whatever.
We were first. We launched in Canada. The U.S.'s sweater. So with that, they have sold over 5 million copies. They have sold over five. Your
Oh,
face
that's
is
so
breaking me right
good.
now.
That's really good.
But like they did sell over 5 million copies, so it's not a to say it's a failure. It would be totally false. What's happening though with PUBG? Do you think it was because it's kind of like Fortnite? Everybody's talking about it, and then like everybody's like, but PUBG's it's still here. Like like we're like I think in a video I called like Fortnite the Pepsi
Mm-hmm.
of of PUBG. Like you're gonna have your Coke, which is PUBG, and your Pepsi, which is Fortnite, and they're always gonna be there. But now it's kind of like the '80s. People love Pepsi all of a sudden, Crystal Pepsi too. So with that said, do you think it was I don't know, maybe possibly a mistake signing an exclusive deal with Microsoft? Do you think, or I want to know your take of what's happening with PUBG? Why are they losing steam and Fortnite gaining so much momentum?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Be real.
Given a person, me, I've played 500 plus hours of PUBG, and that's on PC.
Okay.
I've played somewhere upwards about 60 plus hours on Xbox.
Hmm.
I lost my momentum with it, to be honest with you, just because I just couldn't do it anymore. Whether it was the lagginess, whether
Hmm.
it was the frame drop or the inconsistent like frame rate,
Right.
the cheaters. To be completely honest with you, granted, it's not so much relevant on Xbox, but as it was on PC. I really just lost my steam with it. I really, really, really do enjoy Fortnite. Although I do have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of it on console, only
Okay.
because I'm not a fan of how they set up their control scheme. If I could actually map my buttons the way I'd want it to, I'd fucking love it. Like
Yeah.
I'd be completely down for it, to be
I,
honest with
I think yeah, and it's giving me carpal tunnel. I'm not even kidding you. my
you.
my left thumb is numb, and so like I totally get that. Like yeah, it is it it is a little bit too laggy. So do you think because like at this point we can't even argue that like oh it's Epic and Tencent because
Mhm,
PUBG has had months, right? They
mhm,
have this huge they founded a company around it, right? Like they can hire developers. The game isn't free to play, so they're
mhm.
definitely making money on this game as it's being sold. So like why is it that for is it the flavor of the month, do you think?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it is everyone having a really, really good time with it. So while I hear from other people, it's not so much that it's happened with me, but from what I hear from other people, it's scratching an itch that they haven't played in a long time. Like it's this arcade shooter that they're like, I've been missing this,
Mm,
and I don't know what it was before, but I'm glad I have it back now. Kind of, sort of bit. That's what I've been actually understanding.
yeah.
Whether that stems from maybe like something of like the whole H1Z1 side, because that was a lot of arcade,
Yeah.
craziness shooters, but that also had its own problems, like PUBG does. Um, uh, being I'm also speaking of like frame rate and sometimes bugginess and so on and so forth. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the reason that Fortnite has just been this powerhouse is
Hmm.
because everyone's enjoying it. Everyone's talking about it, or at least the gamer side of it.
Hmm.
Um,
And a
and it's
lot of
also free to
non-gamer
play.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly too.
Like we're seeing athletes, like it's the funniest thing. I've seen like a lot of soccer montages where like once he scored the goal, the guy like runs and then he kneels down and it's like he's doing a med kit. He's
Yeah.
doing the motions of a med kit. Like oh my god, these people are nuts. But like to me, I can't help but think. I'm sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
you're fine.
like to me, it's like you have Daisy, you have
Hmm.
H1Z1, and we have Mr. Player Unknowns learning from those two games and getting the formula right. But then you had Epic behind the scenes learning from H1Z1, learning from Daisy, but also learning from PUBG and what
Hmm.
their mistakes were. And I think one of the big mistakes I think PUBG made along the road was when it said, and I don't know if they went back on this or not. Again, I'm a casual observer of the game, but when they said we're going to stop our weekly updates to make sure we make bigger patches, and a lot of people are like, well, this game's dead because the game's really buggy. Like, we want those updates, and I think it's good for the game and good for the community because you see the developers actually actively working to make the game better, putting stuff in, and then there's also this communication between PUBG, and then for one day everybody's talking about their game, or at least a big chunk of the community is talking about the game. It's always in conversation, and so to me, I think it was a few things. I think, yeah, a lot of people who may naysay or go, Epic totally stole from PUBG or whatever, and I'm like, whether that the case may be, they stole it or not, they do at the end of the day have the more popular thing, right? And that's for
Very
a
much so.
reason. You could copy something, doesn't mean it's going to be a success. And I think Epic saw that with Paragon. You could try to copy a MOBA, you could try to do something a little different, but guess what? It doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. So you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do something unique. So I think Fortnite found its footing because Epic, for the past 6-7 months, has been, or almost the last year, been on point with messaging when it came to launching Fortnite. And yeah, it didn't light the world on fire, but then coming
Mhm.
out and then blatantly saying our inspiration is PUBG. We like PUBG. It's a great game. We made our own version. Want to try it? Want to try it? Whatever. It's free to play. Just to let you guys know. And then PUBG kind of going, don't do that, and giving people the, again, first mistake is acting, is
Mhm.
lashing out. If you own a company and like someone leaves and your first reaction is to lash out on them at Twitter or on or on social media, or giving a big old PR statement, guess what? Your business isn't gonna last because
So,
that method is not sustainable, because people after a while going, how many of these are we gonna get into? So to me, yeah, you could say, cheater whatever, but
yeah.
Fortnite found something, and then week after week them doing awesome things, like people accidentally buying the game, going, here, full refunds,
Mhm.
ending Paragon and saying, and this is actually, I forgot to put it in the news, saying, listen, anything you bought out of Paragon, as long as you got the receipt, you fill this little form, we'll give you the money back. And then even to a certain extent of putting all the assets from Paragon, even the VO, everything, every detail, into the Unreal Engine for free. That's awesome. And so, like, you have these big stories of how awesome Epic is, and then they're launching these patches that are making the game better and better, and then also expanding the game and having this one big team focus on all these things. Is just like, how does PUBG catch up? Because they
Sure.
are kind of losing it, because their PR, their messaging is just not missing it, or is just missing it time and time again. So
Yeah.
my question to you, because I actually do think this, and I'm Mr. Unpopular Opinion. You can say I'm biased because this is a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, but I think it was a big mistake. I think short term, great idea. PUBG Xbox is a must have because Fortnite didn't exist. But
Hmm.
now that Fortnite does exist, I think it was a detriment and a long term failure on PUBG's part. And again, it's not their fault. They really can't predict the future when it comes to who's going to like a game. But now that Fortnite's everywhere and their messaging is, hey, guess what? We want everybody to play together. It's about togetherness. You have a PC, mobile, PS4, Xbox, uh, not PS4 and Xbox, but you can play with each other,
Hmm.
right? As long as you're on PC, you can play with a PlayStation 4 guy, or if you're a PlayStation 4 guy, you can play with your mobile friend, or if you have an Xbox One, buy a PC. Nonetheless, I'm kidding. I love it. But like, nonetheless, it's this issue of being stuck on only two platforms, and Fortnite, or technically three now with Fortnite. Sorry, PUBG coming into mobile, but
Hmm.
like, you have this issue where you're not on the biggest console. There's this reality that sets in of, yeah, you're not top dog. That's the thing,
Yeah.
because PlayStation 4 has 80 million players. or units sold, they have a bigger audience. And so I think you kind
They
of
do.
trapped yourself on the ship, which again, great for Microsoft and they could push that game out. But I think if I'm PUBG, I'm looking for the door. With that said, though, the game runs like shit. I'll be honest with you.
No,
Like I
I
played it
agree
on
with you.
Xbox, and I'm just
When
like,
it launched, it was rough.
dude,
Yeah,
I
it
I played it
rough.
2 nights ago. When we couldn't get on Sea of Thieves, me and Sean like Connery, Capri like the Pants were from the Xbox Drive, a Xbox podcast, not by the players for the players, but I guess the whole thing's cars, so oh,
Hmm.
drive with cars. Anyway, um,
Hmm.
and check it out podcast out because they're great. Dave Moore hits everything though, but that's fine. That said, though, I'm playing with him. I'm like, this game does not run well. It feels weird. It feels like I should be playing with a mouse and keyboard. Like it does not. It does not offer itself well to controller. Like even like I'm like, how do I put attachments on guns? I still did not figure that out. He's like
Hmm.
RB press A, and if it could be attached, it can. I'm like, what?
What?
I'm trying. I'm doing that. Like I got
I
this
agree.
ACOG
I think
scope.
I
Like
think their item management system is just
awful. So I'm just like, I'm playing this game. I'm like, dude, I'd rather be playing Fortnite. I'd rather be like, so I think PUBG really needs to get back on track. And
agreed.
I hope so. I really do hope so. And again, as we say this, I don't think they're in bad shape at all. They're still making millions of dollars. It's
Yeah,
just
very true.
they're losing the mind share. But
Yeah.
guess what? The
What?
Witcher's coming to. What a segue. Geralt of Rivia is coming to Soul Calibur 6. Now, this is actually pretty awesome because I believe the creative director of Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red, he gave out a tweet going, what if Geralt was going to step out of the Witcher game for the first time and make an appearance in one of the upcoming games later this year? And then they're like, announcements to come.
Hmm.
Everybody immediately goes, Soul Calibur, because people are smarter than me. I'm like, where's he? Super Smash? See Geralt in Smash, just like he would work. He would
Yeah,
work.
it's true. He's
Very,
like Igni, and then like Jigglypuff, like whatever.
yeah, man. Like fucking like he's fighting Charizard and he just switches blades. Like that
Yeah.
would be awesome. But Soul Calibur he always is known for having guest characters.
Yeah.
And so the day afterwards, or a couple days afterwards, it was announced that he would be in Soul Calibur 6, same voice actor, and really true to the game. He looks really great. He has like that Soul Calibur polish, but he looks like he walked out of the Witcher universe. I got a question. Are you excited? Are you pumped? Are you getting this game? Or are you excited to see The Witcher?
Very much so. So I suck at fighting games. It is one of my worst areas of video
Same
games
here.
whatsoever. I am just garbage at fighting games. But I absolutely love Soul Calibur just because it was always that arcadey fun, like fuck it, let's have a few rounds, see who wins, and it doesn't get sweaty, kind of sort of bit. Just because
Yeah.
it's Soul Calibur, it's all about the flair, it's all about the combos and just looking really cool as much as possible. And to be honest with you, making Geralt that much cooler, even with his sexiness that he already has going for him, I am down. I am most 100% down. Yeah,
Okay.
I was already pretty excited about this before and was looking forward to actually picking up, but this is just another cherry on top.
I got a question for you. Do you
Okay.
think that we're gonna see another guest character come in, or like gonna see like a PlayStation exclusive or an Xbox exclusive, like a Sea of Thieves guy? I don't know what other IP they got anymore. Like, what do you think? Do you think there's gonna be those console specific exclusives? I wish they had them back because
You
I
know who'd
love
fit it?
that.
You know who'd fit in perfectly? Although
Kratos.
he might have been on the exactly. I was gonna say he may have been on there before, but yeah, Kratos.
Yeah,
I think
I know
Kratos
he
would
was
be
in
perfect.
Mortal Kombat, if I'm not mistaken. And I think
Oh
that's
yes, yeah. I think you're right. I
And
think he was. Yeah,
Kratos is a character. He makes sense in a lot of places.
he
Right.
really does.
Like
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat. I definitely see Kratos going in there. Yeah, no, he would make so much. Oh my god.
Yeah, he would be fucking awesome, and they'd have so much actually to work with like the different things that you can make him put on, the different weapons that he can use. Like, you've already got his huge catalog. So yeah, I think he'd fit in perfectly.
Yeah.
Xbox.
Steve the Minecraft guy.
Actually, you know what? I think I'd love that. I think I'd love to see this blocky thing just.
He's the ultimate spam character.
Yeah.
With
and
that,
then maybe he'd shit out like a
creeper.
A creeper for a bomb, you know.
And Nintendo's character is they don't have one because it can't run on that anemic system. Bam, bam, take that. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
My only other thought was probably going to be someone from Killer Instinct.
Okay.
That's about it, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't even know who you pick from there. I mean, maybe you'd pick the main guy, Jin, you know, but that's, you know, it's just like,
Qui-Gon?
that feels tacked on, like a little bit, you know, kind of sort of bit.
Talking about Kratos, I just want to bring this back over to PlayStation for just a quick sec. The first impressions of God of War 4 is out. First off, thanks for the fucking invite, Santa Monica. Secondly, we're now on bad terms. But no, a lot of personalities, a lot of media got their first hands on God of War 4, and it is blowing the doors off my expectations. I've not seen a bad comment or negative or mixed comment about this game. Everybody's singing this game's praises. Just the way the combat feels. Like, apparently, Greg over at Kind of Funny, he said it perfectly. Apparently, this acts like Mjolnir from like fucking Thor's hammer, right? I don't know how to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like you throw it, and then you're just beating the shit out of people with your fists, and you actually have to call it back by pressing triangle. And so, like, I'm just imagining it, throwing it into someone's face and then pressing triangle to just rip it back out and get it in your hands. It gets me so excited. And now that we have a guest here, I want to know your thoughts about God of War 4. And do you think, as of your hype levels, is this one of those games where you think about it and go, this could be my game of the year very easily? Or where do you fall on God of War?
So I've played 1 through 3. When they came out, I enjoyed them. As I got older and I look back on it, I was like, they were fun for the time being. Now that I've matured and gotten older, I don't think I enjoy it as much anymore, because to a lot of people, you start to realize it is a lot of one note. It's just a lot of anger. But I'm not gonna lie, it did have its nuggets of good story. Or in my opinion, I'd say it was a good story, like with his family and so on and so forth, that I actually thought was like, that's a good little nugget of story that I could actually somewhat enjoy and understand who he is. But the rest of everything else that you have to try to understand and soak in is really just more like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to rip your eyeball out, and then I'm going to shove my axe down in it. And, you know, it's just like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're just getting angry again today.
You're an angry elf, Kratos.
But seeing the trailers, seeing the gameplay impressions, hearing people's actually impressions, you know, not necessarily reviews just yet, I've really, really enjoyed what I've seen. It seems like that multitude of different the nuggets of story, the emotion, whether it also still being angry, but also still having quite a bit of sorrow and also
it's
respect
kind of like,
for
to
itself.
me, what I've seen is like Bruce Banner trying to contain the Hulk. It's like
that's a good way to put it.
I want to know how long into the future it's been with Kratos and with this boy. You know, I think his name is Atreus. I forget.
Yeah.
Ren, you correct me and tell me your Norse lore. But yeah, like I'm so excited. This game keeps on screaming game of the year, but it's gonna get robbed. Just like every PlayStation game this year. Let's be real here. The real question is, why does Sony get robbed every year? Right? Like, how? Like last year, Horizon. Oh, Breath of the Wild, because, you know, I could fucking, I don't know, climb a mountain. Like, come on, let's be honest. Horizon told about the story.
What PS4 does extremely well, and I give them so much credit for this. I wish I can even give them more, but unfortunately I only have so much, is that given with all the the outcriers, the people like, oh, Breath of Wild, or I think during Bloodborne it was,
Witcher
was it
3, Fallout
Witcher 3?
4.
Yeah, Fallout 4. They still said, okay, that's fine. Keep screaming as much as you want. Our numbers count for themselves,
It's true.
and they still do. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they just keep sitting there, just be like, we're gonna put this game out, and then just sit back, and then just be like, we're raking in money.
Yeah,
It's not getting talked about, but we're raking in our
yeah.
fucking money.
Well, you know what? Like they do, but they don't get talked about in the way of like Witcher or Fallout.
Agreed.
They
I
come
wish
out
they
in
did.
these perfect times. I wish they did too, because to me, I'm like, can we stop pretending? Can for a second? I love Breath of the Wild again. As much as I give this, I jokingly give the Switch shit. It's a fantastic console, but can we
Mhm.
stop pretending that the Breath of the Wild is the second coming of Jesus Christ? Because it really isn't.
That's that. Yep.
And
Yep.
you could come
That's
at me, bro. You can. But again, rate us 5 stars, give us a comment when God of War 4, or do you really want to yell at me? But like to me, I'm just saying, like, can we stop? Because Horizon's equally good. Like Breath of the Wild's great, but Horizon's fantastic. And Uncharted 4, listen, not my favorite Uncharted, but it did Overwatch steal it? Maybe, possibly. I don't know, because that game is amazing. And then the year before that, you have Bloodborne, you have Until Dawn, you have all these really great games that
Mhm.
constantly get in the conversation of game of the year. And then like you have Nintendo finally stepping up to the plate and actually hitting some home runs, and then you got Xbox eating glue, it seems, because to me, like, Xbox's generation again, I'm excited for Sea of Thieves because we haven't talked about their games. They're not hitting critical mass. They're not hitting, oh man, I need to play Halo right now. They're not doing that. So I think with what PlayStation's done this generation, it has been understated to an extent because their games, man, are just killing it. Horizon's an
Mhm.
amazing game. So,
Mhm.
again, Uncharted, Until Dawn, all these games, fantastic. So, to me, yeah, it's a little, yeah, maybe this is our bias showing. I don't feel like they get the love they deserve a
I
lot of
think
the
that's
time.
fair.
But
I think
maybe it's
that's fair.
also they come out so early in the year that by the time, like when it comes to like Fallout 4, maybe, I don't know, so there's so much discussion around games that maybe they drop off, but they're great. Anyway, nonetheless, I want to harp too much on why the game media keeps on hurting my feelings. I will go and talk about this instead. Lego has announced the Incredibles for consoles and PC. Lego Incredibles.
Yes.
This is,
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. The dad, I forget his name. I'll just call him Hank. Um, looks super weird. I don't like it. we only see one picture, but I gotta say, it reminded me that The Incredibles 2 is coming out, and that got me excited. But obviously, you're excited. So why? Why are you so excited about a Lego game?
uh, Granted, I haven't played all Lego games. I still enjoy the little Lego games.
Me
They
too.
definitely have their own charm. They definitely have their nuggets of like just pure just enjoyment, imagination, and fun. And I absolutely adore and love and have a very special place in my heart for Incredibles.
Yeah.
So seeing those two mash up. Granted, yes, this could go awry and it could be a really shitty game,
Right.
but I'm going to be honest with you. I still want to give it the best go and the best try that I can to actually see what this game is like, because yeah, I love the two franchises, so I'm down. Like I
All right.
want to give it a good solid try and see what it's like.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. That's coming out in November, so maybe you shall give it a try. Maybe you'll be back and tell us about it. But with that, we're going to end this show on some sad news. Rest in peace, Toys R Us. We hardly knew thee. Toys R Us is closing down. It's filing for bankruptcy. They are right now kind of giving their reasons as to what happened and how it's not their fault. It's Amazon and millennials. But with that, I want to know: A, do you have any fond memories of Toys R Us? And they could be of anything, because to be honest, the reason why we bring it on the PlayStation podcast, blah, 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 words and numbers, I'm having a stroke. Um, the reason why we have it here is because I remember getting my PlayStation from Toys R Us. Toys R Us is a very much the foundation of why I'm a gamer today. You know, that's where we would go. We get that slip. We wait for the guy to open that window, right? And you see
Hmm.
all the games. Oh my God, it's finally mine. And you get your N64, you get your PlayStation One, and the memories that come afterwards is, to me, I have this nostalgic like feeling when I think of Toys R Us, but also at the same time hatred because I used to work there. But like nonetheless, it's sad to see them go.
Hmm.
So what are your favorite memories from?
So I didn't get to visit a lot Toys R Us a lot. We have one in town, but it wasn't a lot of places that we just went to when I was younger. But I do have one memory.
Hmm.
I did win a $100 gift
Oh
certificate
shit!
actually as a kid one time there, and although I ended up using, I want to say, most of it on a $60 game at that time, which I think was actually for my PlayStation. Um,
Nice.
the rest of it was I think it was on Little Toys. But my biggest memory from all of that was I spent 6 hours just gawking at all of these toys and not being able to make my mind, just being like, where am I? Does
Heaven.
this is this a dream? This can't be real, kind of
Yeah,
sort of bit. And my parents not being too happy with me about it, but nonetheless, I did enjoy Toys R Us
that's
for
awesome.
the little time that I got with it. And yeah, it does suck that they are unfortunately no more, or at least going to be no more. And at the same time, I also do understand it, just because of there are less and less people going to stores as it is already. I mean, granted,
Yeah,
you have things like Black Friday that do help them, but nonetheless, like for example, I do see my Best Buy lot somewhat full for the most part, but at the same time, they have an extremely small lot compared to everyone else, which is actually a Target right next to them, which is in almost three times its size, and so on and so forth.
yeah,
So it's not hard to see that. I can see that not many people are actually in there really buying electronics, because it's all being done by Amazon at this point. Amazon is just really just controlling the whole consumerism shopping side of all of it, and that also comes to toys too.
yeah.
You know,
And do you think that's really a good thing? Like to
I think.
me, like Amazon, like I bought Astros from GameStop
Mhm,
a few weeks back. I was trying to make up my mind. I accidentally ordered the PlayStation Platinum headphones, and I
mhm.
had to return them. And usually, you go to a FedEx or you go to a UPS store and you do it for free. Amazon wanted to charge me almost $5, or I go to the Amazon Books place, which is totally out of the way, to return it.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually really quite ass backwards. Usually, most of my returns is usually, all right, we'll put it in a box, then take it to your FedEx, and then we'll ship it for you. It's like, all right, cool.
yeah, and I feel like there's like this kind of it's getting to the point as we as humans, it's kind of getting to me a little gross that wow, like we really do hate each other. Is this it? Like we really don't want and I really think it's like do are we really that yeah, the guy at GameStop's gonna ask you 5 questions. Is that really ruining your experience? Like, what is it that like these brick and mortar stores that are doing wrong? I want to understand.
I think it really chalks up to people really becoming more. I can't think of a good term for it, but I guess just home based. A
Yeah.
lot of people are really happy with things being delivered to them. And while I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, I do think that in a way it does hurt other things, like stores like Toys R Us,
Mm.
like your Best Buys, your everywhere else. That I I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think a part of it is that I don't really want to interact with people. And another part of it is just like I like the ease of access. Um, at
I
the
think
same
it's
time,
like it's to me. I think brick and mortar stores are still not. Yeah, it's that thing of like I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to get my thing. I want to get out. And I think
mhm,
we have that mentality because the guy's gonna try to sell me on warranty. He's gonna try to put so many attachments on. But like at the same exact time when I'm looking that I need help, they're not coming because they don't want to deal with my bullshit.
mhm.
I think the customer's always right mentality. God, it's not unhealthy because let's be honest, as working in retail as I have, they're never right,
I
and they
completely
could
agree
be
with you.
real big pieces of shit about it. So I would hate to see these stores go.
Hmm.
I would love to
Me
watch
too.
them leave. No, it's but I think what it's gonna give the rise of is boutique stores. I think the idea of warehouses like Macy's, J.C. Penney, gone.
Hmm.
I think you're gonna see specialty stores
Hmm.
that sell this one thing, like
Yeah.
Lego and Barbie. That like a lot of people are talking about what's gonna happen to them because Toys R Us is really important to their bottom line.
Hmm.
And I think it's well, here in America at least, you're gonna see Lego stores in strip malls. You're gonna see a lot more Lego stores in malls and in all these places. You're gonna see pop up Barbie malls, and I think that's where the future is in
Hmm.
these little stores that have the information you need, and
Hmm.
you're not walking around this dumb warehouse. You know, that's what I
Yeah.
think. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment
Yeah,
to be honest with you. Only because uh, there are those. I mean, there's always going to be the people who want to do very traditional things, and if it comes to actually owning that brick and mortar store, of being like, we are selling our product that you can put it in your hands right away
yeah.
and walk out with it if you want it. Um, and yeah, I think a more specialty kind of store would be in line for something like that because right now you got your Walmarts, you got your Targets, you got your Macy's, you got all of them that are just doing everything else that your Food Lions,
Hmm.
your Toys R Us, your everything, they're already taking in all that as it is already,
Yeah.
and so it's harder for the singled out big stores like Toys R Us to really just be like, we sell toys.
Come
I
here.
mean,
Yeah, that's totally
do you
true
want to come
too.
here?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good. I think that's a good ending point, Foxes. I think we did good today.
Fair point.
Yeah, thank you for coming aboard. But we got
Thank
one
you. I'm glad
last
to be.
question, and this comes from and this one sadly, Foxes, only I can answer.
Okay, that's fine.
So every week again, we're gonna every Sunday I send out a tweet. So follow me at Mr. Badbit Games because we need your questions, right? I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what questions you have for us about everything PlayStation. So again, you could go on Twitter at Mr. Badbit, follow us there, ask those questions every Sunday when I put out that tweet, or well, I'll put a link to it. Our Discord, our Make Us Better Discord. I'll always, again, every Sunday put out a question. We give you a day in advance to do it. This week, because I only gave you guys like 2 hours of advance. I'm sorry, so sorry. That's my bad. We have one question, and of course, it's from our patron, Mr. Nasty Boots, Mr. Aaron Doherty himself. That is my best Irish accent, and I am so sorry. With that said. You don't need to be a patron. Just be a fan of PlayStation. I just need to make that said. I have only one question from Mr. Aaron, and also happy St. Patty's Day. You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. I'm gonna paraphrase it. All right. We got Rybo, Mr. Rybo Flavins. He's also a patron. We got Jams, who's also a patron. He was on the Bad Bit Show last week, which you need to check out right now. And then he's like me, Mr. Aaron Doherty. So I gotta fuck one, I gotta marry one, I gotta kill one. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm gonna marry Rybo. And why am I marrying Rybo? Well, Rybo's a really nice guy. I think he would be the guy that's gonna help me around the house, right? Like I don't know technology. He's always helping everybody with their OBS, with their streaming issues. So I feel like Rybo's the handyman. But at the same time, Nasty Boots can cook. So, but here's the deal: Rybo and me were an awesome team because when we had the Guru International Tournament for Splatoon, we wrecked shop. Foxes, we were undefeated. Mr.
Hell yeah.
PlayStation went on the little Nintendo console and made a mockery of everyone because that's what us PlayStation people do. You put a controller in my hands, certified killer is what I am. So I'm
Get
gonna
wrecked, bro.
choose. Yeah, get wrecked. I'm gonna choose Rybo. With that said, now I gotta fuck one or kill one. And he says toss off a cliff. So this is
So
difficult.
they may or may not live.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna have to toss Jams off a cliff, and I'm gonna tell you why. I feel like Aaron's just gonna be a very giving lover. And also, I feel like when I'm picturing tossing jams off a cliff, I'm thinking Return of the Jedi when Darth Vader goes like, "No." Well, actually, I don't know why they put that in. Now, God, special edition, it's horrible. But yeah, when he tosses the Emperor, and I'm like pacing Jam's face, and it's making me laugh. So I'm tossing jams into the Death Star pit, and yeah, Aaron, I'd make you a lucky lady. Next week, though, please send in PlayStation related questions. That would
You
be
heard it here first.
fantastic.
Joseph likes the receiving.
Listen, man, he's a patron. I gotta do it.
Hey man, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, man. You know what? Different strokes for different folks. So, with that said, everybody, that is the end of the PlayStation, or not the PlayStation podcast. Whoop, I always fuck that up. The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. Foxes, where can they find you? Social media,
You can always
that
find me.
podcast. Where can they find you?
You can always find me taking over the world
Mhm.
with Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, PSN, Xbox Live, and Steam. All Red Bearded Fox.
Really? You got all that? Say
Yep.
like there's no. Holy shit! That's talent. So find him literally anywhere as Red Bearded Fox on Twitter, on PSN, on Steam. Holy crap, that's impressive. Instagram.
Thank you.
And that podcast, that glorious movie podcast, can they find that as well?
You can find our glorious movie show on YouTube,
Okay.
iTunes,
Okay.
SoundCloud, and Twitch. We also stream on
seriously?
Twitch at times too.
That's so awesome. I mean, I'm very interested in doing this whole Twitch streaming thing, but again, that
We
takes
like
me
it.
learning OBS.
We do like
and-
it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give it a shot. So with that said, you can find me over at Mr. Badbit over on Twitter. You can find this podcast, the video version, where you see Fox's epic beard and my epic double chin. I don't know. On Badbit Games on YouTube, so find us there. And you could get us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all those podcast services that you love so much. Hopefully by the end of the month, we'll also be on SoundCloud. And again, just to mention for the 18th time, that God of War 4 giveaway. You want a chance to win God of War 4? Get that 5-star rating on iTunes. Right while you love the Trophy Room and PlayStation. Send that picture over to me on Twitter at Mr. Badbit, and then I will announce it April 10th on the show, and then immediately on Twitter afterwards. So there you go. With all that said, with all that out of the way, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. There you go. I think I'm going to stick to that. I think I'm going to stick to that catchphrase. I like it. Keep hunting because you like hunting trophies and you like PlayStation. It's great. All right.
That's good.